Speaker is not going to be declining in his effectiveness and his intelligence because he works very hard to be effective, and he is extremely intelligent. And if you have any question about it, just talk to his wife, who kicks him in the rear end all the time about what to do and what not to do, and as he's shaking his head yes. He's Congressman Lee Terry. He was elected to Congress from Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District in 1998. During his decade and a half in Congress, Congressman Terry has been one of the strongest advocates for American energy security, respect for life, and a fiscally sound, balanced budget. He's been an outspoken and leading opponent against government intrusion of health care and government intrusion of the internet. Congressman Lee Terry. Wasting my time. You want to shake hands with me?
Thank you, Mallory, for having me here tonight. And yeah, I get to go last and follow Ben and talk policy. How about we make Harry Reid our villain, because he is to me. That guy has stopped a lot of really good legislation from our side of the aisle, and we need change there. So I'm here to talk about our great nation of builders. When we think about America's greatness, it's because we are a nation of innovators and people that will work and do. They are people that are willing to take risks, to create something. And that's what makes our country great. But the reality of today is that the risk takers, the nation of builders, those that want to build and create something, are now classified as the Darth Vaders. Because of the fact that if they put up capital, they expect some return. And that's evil. That's called profits. But the reality is that attitude is diminishing the desire of our builders to create. In this great recession, we have lost 5 million manufacturing jobs. Any great economy has to be an economy that produces things. And we are declining as a nation of builders. The president brags that they have created 500,000 new manufacturing jobs. And I wonder why we still haven't recovered the 4.5 million other manufacturing jobs that have been lost. Now, we're going to talk a little policy here, because here's what it takes to get our manufacturing base back. And by the way, manufacturing jobs is the essence of middle America. This is middle income. This is what built America. This is our essence of greatness. When we hear Starr stand up here and talk about the people that are in dependency today, the reality is they can start with the little teaching of skills at Boeing that I toured this afternoon for $50,000 a year. You can start in Pennsylvania or Ohio, walk in and get hired at a steel industry for $77,000. This is what makes America great, is when people can be empowered with those type of jobs. But the cornerstone to our manufacturing future is energy. Ask yourself, where is our president on energy? For manufacturing to succeed, you need reliable and affordable energy. And what we hear out of the White House is, let's take away our coal, let's take away natural gas, let's ban fracking, let's destroy our energy. The reality, folks, is the shale play has been a game changer for the United States, because we now know we can be energy independent. We can be in control of our energy in the United States using our own resources with Canada. If you want further evidence besides the EPA's new rules and regulations destroying our energy culture and our energy economy, go to the Keystone Pipeline. People have asked me, why are you pushing that so hard? Well, the reality isn't just the 1 million barrels per day that we can offset from OPEC. It gives us that level of security that is necessary to expand our economy and stimulate manufacturing jobs. I'm the chairman of the Commerce, Manufacturing, and Trade Subcommittee under Energy and Commerce. So, I've held many hearings this year. 45 witnesses, all the way from a small foundry in Chicago to 3M and Lockheed. It's interesting to me when you ask them the basic question, what do we need to really regain our manufacturing mojo? And it really comes down to 4 things. Energy, affordability, and reliability. And by the way, it's the low price of natural gas, the results of fracking and shale play that has pretty much put those 500,000 jobs that the president brags about. That's what helped create that. So what are the other 3 things? First of all, it's amazing to me, with a 7.6% unemployment rate, the question was put to every one of our witnesses, do you have job openings? Every one of them said yes. They can't find the skilled or semi-skilled workers to operate the machines in advanced manufacturing today. That is an indictment of our education system. All the way from K to 12 to our universities that are so damn expensive today that community colleges have now changed to be the first 2 years of college instead of training technical skills for our manufacturers. The next, rules and regulations. I've talked to too many manufacturers that say, I can't afford to expand because the millions of dollars and the 2 to 3 years it'll take to work through all of the bureaucratic mess in Washington, D.C. And by the way, if you work through the EPA and all of the other Department of Labor and everything else in Washington, D.C., you got to now deal with your own state's bureaucracy. We've got to streamline this and fix that, folks. There's been too many companies I know that have moved offshore just because of our rules and our regulations. The last is the tax code. Here's what's important about our tax code. When we had the automobile industry before us, including parts manufacturers, there was one in Michigan, and he said the tax code needs to be reformed to make us more competitive. I look over into Canada with a 15% flat tax on corporations, and I wonder why I'm still in the United States paying nearly a 30% effective tax. He's right. Our tax code is inhibiting our manufacturing. Did that go out?
No.
Okay.
10 seconds.
So, we focus on those 4 items, and we can build America again. We can put those skilled or those non-skilled, teaching them skills, we can put them to work at $70,000 a year to start. Let's make our country great again.
Let's take a couple of great job.
Okay.
Got time for a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Let's take a couple of quick questions. Young lady over there.
As I listened to all the speakers tonight, they all had the same theme: too much regulation, too much tax, too much government. How do we get Boehner and the rest of them up there to actually listen to we the people?
Well, Steve?
Okay.
I yield that one to Steve. You know, our leadership does, we hear you, they hear their own constituents. We talk all the time. They know it. And in a small part, they want to do something big, but you still come back and there's Harry Reid. And it gets demoralizing when you do things. Tax code is going to come. Or I'm sorry, the reform is going to come. Hopefully in October. And we'll vote on that. And we'll wait and see if that happens. But we got to continue to press. There's working on it.
There's a gentleman down the back who had a question before. Do you want to answer that question?
yeah,
But before you do, I just want to make an announcement. Next meeting, September 9th, including Senator Mike Lee. 3 people left to attend the small private dinner and cocktail reception. If anybody wants to become a sponsor, come talk to me. Please answer that question if you could, sir.
Medicare, when it was put into effect, required that there be a code for each ailment so that the government can know what it's supposed to help pay for. They just went to a new system of coding called the ICD-10, which went from, I don't know, maybe several hundred to literally 10,000 codes. So if you go into the hospital with a broken arm, they have to take a history and find the code for broken arm playing baseball. I'm not kidding. And it gets down to that level of information, because I guess that's what this administration is all about, is gathering as much information and data on people. And now doctors' offices have to completely not only change their software, but now start asking the question, okay, it's a spiral fracture of the arm. I don't really care whether it was baseball or football or hockey or whatever it is. They just want to fix it. But now they have to spend the time and put it into code now.
One last question right over here.
Started out with energy, which
yes.
I think is a national security issue. Have you discussed and gone over thorium reactors at all, which is obviously cheaper and more abundant than uranium?
That's an interesting question, and to answer it bluntly, no, we haven't discussed that, but it reminds me of my son that started at the University of Nebraska today, because he asked me the same question about a month ago. And frankly, the thorium is a natural resource, very abundant, particularly in India. And India is actually doing a mass pilot nuclear power facility with thorium. So, and by the way, I graduated from the University of Nebraska. My son's going now, just starting the University of Nebraska, and I'm really proud that we're in the Big Ten because of the Big Ten's reputation for academics, for academia, and smart people come from the Big Ten universities, and we brag about our academics, the high level of academics, by every football Saturday. You will see us running out with the red N on the white helmet for knowledge. With that, I'll yield back. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we're going to see you next month. Thanks to our network.